Catapult for TSP here. We bring a lot of cold truths and hot takes. And well, I'll let you decide what this sheriff brought forth.
I know each of you in the media here and viewers out there probably heard us in law enforcement or even in community events talk about what is the problem. And I'm going to go ahead and address the first thing that I know it's going to come up. Because there are individuals out there viewing, and to include some of you media, that want to blame the one thing that has no ability or the capacity to commit the crime itself. And that's the gun.
So, you can read the bottom of the screen. 12-year-old and 17-year-old arrested for a triple murder. Details of the case are still coming out. And, yeah, I mean, this is going to be a hot topic on this channel. There's definitely going to be a little bit of a little spicy comment section, but I think he's actually completely correct here. The gun doesn't wake up one day and decide to go on a rampage. It is the person behind the tool that is doing the evil deeds. And that is what we need to address as a country. I know a lot of people are for getting rid of guns altogether, and in a perfect world, I wouldn't really be opposed to it. But I believe in giving people the right to defend themselves and, demonizing a tool and not demonizing the actions of an unwell person. I mean, I just think it to the point we get a little bit crazy here.
These individuals committed the crime. Now, what's the solution? I wish I could give you that answer, because this world would be a whole lot better. But the fact is, society fails it. We do not hold our juveniles accountable. We minimize their actions. And let me tell you why I say this. Last night, I had to stare into the eyes of two mothers. It's not their fault. Because what I saw last night was two mothers who are willing to give their sons everything. Do everything for them and give them their own lives. But just like you and I, no matter how much we teach them, because I am a father. I am a father, and I cannot fathom what they were going through.
So, key thing he brought up here, and I'm assuming, and if this is wrong, I apologize, but I'm assuming he's talking about the two children that he arrested. The two mothers doing everything they possibly can. What sticks out to me is mother. Where's the father in that household? Where's the guiding hand of the father? And I think as a country, this is one of the biggest issues we're facing, regardless of whatever race demographic. You need to have a father in the home. You need to have a good father in the home. I should put it that way. Because young boys need to learn how to be proper young men. And committing violent acts like this isn't being a man, this ain't being tough. This is just being downright evil and stupid. And that's what we need more in the future generations. We need more fathers in the home being full participants in their children's lives. That just kind of stuck out to me when he said mothers and not the fathers.
These mothers and mothers across this nation need all of your help. Because here's what infuriates me. I've got a particular media who has a problem with putting photos of juveniles out. Now, we do it what the law says we can do. Put these photos out. I put myself in the shoes of those mothers because I heard one of them say it. I wish I would have known what this one was doing and who they were, because my kid never would have hung out with them.
Man, I'm going to sound really tough. Now, you can't control your kids completely. You can guide them, give them a helping hand, and, hopefully put them in the right path of life. Sometimes people just maybe to the way they were born or their distinct personality will either rebel and maybe meet friends that aren't necessarily the greatest human beings. But I do question is how she did not know about his friends. Like, he must have been hiding quite a bit from his mother. And I don't know. It just with... And I can't... This is going to be a tough one, but trying to put yourself in someone else's shoes. I know when I was a younger kid, when I was 12 years old, my parents kind of knew where I was, what I was doing, who I was hanging out with. I kind of wonder, how didn't the mother know who he was hanging out with? Did she just let him out the house and let him do his thing? I don't know. Maybe just different parenting styles. I do find that a little peculiar.
And to think and believe to minimize any actions that is criminal of a juvenile is a disservice and, frankly, stupid to think. We need to hold them accountable.
Yeah.
And then hope that we can change them.
That's a tough watch. I mean, young individuals essentially putting themselves behind bars for the rest of their life. 12-year-old, 17-year-old. 17-year-old's still young, but I think the 12-year-old I feel the worst for. I don't know if he was just that easily manipulated to be put into that situation. But even if you're an adolescent, if you take another human being's life, well, you have to deal with the consequences. And that's going to mean jail for a very long time, if not your whole life. And pretty much their life is over at this point. If it is proven that they are guilty under a court of law, their life's over. Because even if they get out, let's say they get a 30-year sentence, 30, 40-year sentence. I mean, when you get out of jail, you're kind of up the creek without a paddle. And I think it kind of plays into a lot of parenting and just the lack of moral fiber in this country I see as a whole. I mean, we've had this conversation on this channel before with my co-host DEG. I'm kind of wondering at this point in my stage of life, is the amount of violence and sexuality and all this stuff that we see just in TV shows, movies, even video games, all different types of media, like music as well, is it desensitizing children from these violent acts? Because you can throw on a lot of music and hear a lot of friggin' terrible shit. And I wonder if these kids are so impressionable that they think a lot of these artists are living that lifestyle. Now, some are, but let's be honest. Most of them are studio gangsters who never lived that life. It's not a glamorous lifestyle. I don't know the particulars. It'll be interesting to kind of do a follow-up video and figure out exactly what went on here. But we need to do a better part in raising children in this country. What I heard there was 2 mothers. I didn't hear 2 fathers. What I heard there is like, I didn't know where my kid is. Well, maybe you need to figure out where your kid is. Man, I'm not trying to just throw blame. It's not the mother's fault in that regard. I'm not saying the mother is the one who picked up the weapon and decided to kill 3 people. But how in the hell do you not know where your 12-year-old child is? I guess that's from my perspective. And you know what? We all grow in different backgrounds and lifestyles. I get that. But I know when I was a kid, when I was 12, I think my parents would have known if I was hanging out with some shady characters. So I'd be interested to know your thoughts down below. What did you think of this case? What did you think about what the sheriff said? And is there a way of improving this state in our current society? I'm Captain Paul. We bring a lot of cold truths and hot takes. See you in the next one.